In this video, we will create the lathe ID ops and we'll rough mill the long slot. I'm going to create a new toolpath group and we'll call it turn ID and rough mill slots. I'm going to go into levels and I'm going to make level 130 active, turn off the solid model, and turn on the turn profile. Then in turning, I'm going to go to the drill toolpath, and I have an 8mm diameter drill pointed towards the right spindle ready to go. We didn't select any geometry, so it's not sure which side we want. We want the upper right. And you can see some information about the plane here. And we're using the work offset number 1. In the drilling cycle, I'm going to change the drill point Z to 0. And for depth, I'll select incremental. I'll select the middle of the line here. Comes back at 71.3. We'll make that 75. You'll notice that's a plus value because we're in the right spindle. And for a clearance value, we need to be in the minus direction. So I'll say -5 for clearance and retract. And we've got an 8mm hole through it. And I'll go to drill again. And I'm going to pick T1010. It's a 19mm flat bottom drill with some radii on the end. I'm still in upper right. We're still at Z of 0. For a depth, I'm going to pick this face here. Comes back at 43. I want to leave a millimeter for boring. Our clearance and retract are good. So we've opened up our hole with a flat bottom drill. And we'll go ahead and do a finish toolpath. We're going to chain it from the front all the way down through the chamfer. This bar is going to be a tight fit, but we can make it work. So we're going to pick the T0808, the left hand bore right spindle. We're still in the upper right combination. Under finish parameters, the defaults are good here. For my lead out, I want to come away in the direction of the chamfer. And because my bar is pretty good size, I need to make this quite a bit smaller. So we're just going to clear that by a little bit. I'll select all 3 of these and we'll back plot them, make sure they look okay. We'll drill it, flat bottom drill it, and then bore it. And we do come pretty close here, but it looks good. I've oriented the part using the isometric reverse and turned on level 101, the solid model. So I'm in milling and I'm going to go to dynamic 2D. I'm going to pick a machining region and I have solids on and I'm going to use linked edges. I'll start here and we'll walk it around. So we capture the floor. And for an air region, I'm just going to pick the front of the part. Now if we preview our chain at this point, you'll notice that it does not come back and look good. But that's okay. We'll check it again. We are also machining from the outside in this case. For a tool, I'm going to select from the library a 6mm flat M mill. And for a holder, we're going to name the assembly 6mm cross mill right spindle. And I really want about 45mm of projection there, but my tool's too long. So we'll come back here and edit this. Make it overall 50, cutting length of 45, and a shoulder length of 45. if I come back to my holder now, we actually probably wanted our overall length a little bit longer, but that's okay for our purposes. So in setup, I'll go with upper right, y-axis cross is good. We have derived from geometry checked. So it's looking at the geometry I selected and it's creating a plane for us. The B is at 90 and the C is at 92.904. So that plane is rotated from perpendicular just a little bit by 2.904 degrees. For cut parameters, we might make the step over a little bit bigger. We could leave a little bit less on the walls and nothing on the floor. For linking parameters, we'll pick top of stock right here at the top of the OD. So we got 4.8. Make that a nice round 5. And the depth will be right down to the chain. Feed plane of 3 is good. A retract of 6 is good. And let's make our clearance just 5 millimeters above that. So if we backplot this, that looks pretty good. One thing I'd like to point out at this point is if I come back into this toolpath and we look at the preview chains, you can see that we now have a good preview because Mastercam knows where the plane is now. The first time it didn't know where the plane was.